I'm a alumni of Mrs. Paradise's driving class. Last August, so exactly a year ago, I had to take a driver retraining course because of a motor vehicle accident. I got in, a ticket I received, and another ticket I received. So 3 traffic incidents, surchargeable traffic offenses within a 2-year period will buy you one of these classes. It's 8 hours. Don't be late back from lunch, otherwise they will make you reschedule and pay the $125 that it takes to get into the class all over again, which nobody likes to do. And it is 8 hours long of very boring dry material. They actually take proctors for the exam and disguise them as students who are taking the exam to make sure that the instructor follows the rules and that everybody's doing everything right. So it was 8 hours out of my day, $125, a whole work day wasted, and not a lot of fun. If I get another ticket or surchargeable offense on my driving record within this next year, being 2 years after I took the last course, I have to take one of those again.
I've taken it twice. One course is 8 hours of you sitting in a room with people telling you about decisions. It has nothing to do with laws. It has nothing to do with what you're doing in driver's ed, where you're learning how the rules of the road work. They sit you down for 8 hours and they tell you about choices. Bad choices, good choices, what choices you make, how you make those choices. That's it.
Well, I was a very nervous driver when I was first learning, so I had quite a few of experiences when I was learning to drive that were not very pleasant. Like there was a time when I was coming down Hollis Street, and my dad for 2 seconds decided to answer a phone call, which was not something he normally did, because he was afraid I was going to run into a tree or something. And he was trying to look at the GPS to tell me where I was going, and he was trying to talk on the phone at the same time. And it's a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit on this road. So I'm going 45, like right at the 45, and all of a sudden he says, "Turn right!" And so I squealed in the brakes and I turned right! And I pulled over to the side of the road and he started yelling, and that was not fun.
The worst accident I've ever been in was the only one I've ever been in, and it was on a snowy night. I was driving to work. Going a little too fast, not paying attention. Nice slick layer of snow on the ground, and I just ran off the road into a guardrail and totaled my Ford Focus.
So my first wreck, it was snowing and it was wintry and it was not very well salted, and I was taking a turn at a strange intersection in Nashua, and I couldn't stop in time, and I slid on the snow ice layer and I hit the 2 cars in front of me, so it was like a domino effect, which was kind of cool. But not cool because my insurance had to cover 2 other people's cars instead of 1.
My worst accident was in October of 2013. I just had my car for a month. And I was traveling down back streets in Townsend. It was beginning to get cold, as we know that winter was pretty bad, and it started really in the early fall. I was taking a very sharp right turn. I actually wasn't speeding. I was following the speed limit, and I turned the wheel to the right. My car kept going straight, and I destroyed, not just damaged, I destroyed the left half of my vehicle. They went up. Insurance, anytime that you have a surchargeable, what they refer to as a surchargeable event, which would be any crash that is over $1,000, I believe, it goes up by 7%, which might not seem like a whole lot when you're already trying to make certain other payments and your budget is already stretched tight. It takes a hit. It definitely takes an effect.
I failed my driving test twice. But the good thing is, you can take your driving test as many times as you want. Unlike teachers in school, the Massachusetts government will even let people who fail retake and retake and retake. So that's how you get idiots on the road like me.
There was one time I was running really late to work, and I was going 26 miles an hour over the speed limit. And I got pulled over. It was going 56 into 30. Cop pulled me over, just biggest smile on his face because he knew I knew what was going on. I was shaking in my boots, and he basically said, "You know how fast you're going?" And I was like, "Yeah, 45." And he was like, "No, I'm not buying that." So he went back and he told me how much he clocked me at. Took a couple, miles per hour off of that. Wrote me a ticket for $200. And that was very unpleasant. Didn't want to have to pay that, but that was so. I was going to work at the hospital, and my entire weekend's wages that I was working at this particular hospital went to pay that ticket.
Do not do this. All right, do not do this. I was doing 85 and a 60 down I-95, and I was pulled over, obviously because I'm speeding. The state trooper comes up to my window, asked me if I knew why he pulled me over, and I looked him in the face and I said, "I'm not sure, officer." Was it to sell me a ticket to one of your balls? He looks at me with a straight face and says, "Son, Massachusetts state troopers don't have balls." At which point we both laugh. He says, "Have a nice day," and I went on my merry way.
I've only been ticketed once. I have been pulled over a few times for a brake light out or for speeding, but I didn't mean to speed. Okay, I did. There was a girl who was coming in to do an overnight shift at work, and she had just been hit by her boyfriend. And I volunteered to work the overnight, so I had brought a friend with me to work because I thought I was originally only going to work 3 hours. But because I offered to take this girl's overnight, I had to find a place for my friend to go. And so I had to drive her all the way up to Nashua. And in order to get back to my overnight, because there was a manager who was supposed to be leaving, but he was willing to stay an extra hour so that I could... Anyways, a cop pulled me over literally 2 minutes after I said, "I'm gonna speed a little. Is that okay?" to my friend. And he pulls me over, and at this point I am just like, I am trying so hard, and I can't do anything right. And he pulls me over and he's like, "Do you know how fast you were going?" I was like, "No." "Do you know you were speeding?" "Yes." "Why were you speeding?" "Well, because..." And then I told him the whole story about taking this girl's overnight, and he was like, "Well, you know what? When you're coming back through here, you just need to be going the speed limit, otherwise I'm going to ticket you when you come back through." And I was like,
I was coming home from a weekend camp training down in Connecticut. I was not 5 miles from my home, at which point I yawned, and when I opened my eyes, I was in the back of an 85-year-old woman. That one sucked.
Don't let the moment dictate how you drive. Like, if you're feeling anxious because you're late to work, it's not worth it to drive fast. If you are, like, safety is huge. If you're driving with a bunch of people and you're the driver, you're responsible for getting everybody home safe. Like, you should be thinking safety, from beginning to end. The bad stuff happens when you least expect it. So, drive safe. God bless. And hi, Mrs. Paradise.